The last big idea we're going to discuss is identity resources, which concerns 3 parts: material, relational, and ideational resources. All 3 of these help learners find their identity, such as teammates on a sports team. In relation to what is learning, the debaters discuss if relational and ideational resources help facilitate and direct learning in a positive or negative way. So this is our visual representation right here, and while we don't really talk about material resources, those are the physical and tangible artifacts used. Ideational resources are like where the individuals see themselves in the community and when they need emotional scaffolding, and relational resources are like their relations to, let's say, a coach or their other teammates. And so let's begin.
Haley, what do you think about identity and learning?
It's a loaded question. Well, I think that ideational resources is a way of thinking about learning something that might be difficult. So, for example, a hurdler trying to jump over a hurdle for the first time is pretty daunting. But with a coach, there's somebody to help them along and tell them the necessary steps to go and just encourage them is just a huge staple there. And the coach is scaffolding his or her approach and attitude and getting past different challenges that come with this. And we haven't really talked about emotions yet in this conversation, and her channeling her frustration, him or her jumping over the hurdle, channeling their frustration to this and overcoming it shows how powerful this can be. And this all helps her shape her identity of being resilient and persevering through a challenge. You know, that this moment of her being able to jump over this hurdle with the encouragement of her coach helps her to know that she can overcome challenges and she can overcome things.
Yeah, I guess that makes me think about what if there's a damaged relational identity or relationship, or what if there's a strained relationship that fails and it hinders your learning process. So like when we're talking about what is learning, if you have negative relational resources, will it discourage you from learning about, well, if we're just talking about hurdling, would it discourage you from learning about hurdling? Or about sports or whatever else you're learning about? In turn, how does this affect your identity if you decide to stop because of the negative relational resources that have impacted you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that relational resources aren't strictly just with the coaches. And a lot of times they can come from the teammates as well. And like teammates can play a huge role in helping each other grow, and they can also encourage and do loads of stuff that coaches can't because they have a different relationship with one another. And in the study by Nasir and Cooks, one student identified themselves as the mama of the team. And this just shows that more than one relational resource helps them shape their identity. And because of this connection to her teammates, she made really strong personal goals, like wanting to win state the next year. And it just is like a ripple effect that there's so many things that go into helping shape their identities when it comes to this. And in terms of learning, I think that people will learn from all of the relational resources around them, depending on like coaches or teammates or whoever might be watching them or involved.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.